RJ Barrett is finally starting to figure it out for the Knicks. Over the past two games, RJ had over 30 points in each of those games, which made him the youngest player in Knicks history to record back-to-back 30-point games. But quickly before we get the video started, for those of you who may not know, I'm Juicy Sports. I make opinionative NBA content, and if you guys enjoy videos similar to this, please consider hitting that subscribe button, that post notification bell, and that like button. But anyways, let's get into it.
Oh yeah, I work with the medics. I'm about to get you injected. I got a couple connections so I can get you prosthetic.
After being drafted with the number 3 overall selection in the 2019 NBA draft, RJ Barrett was seen early on in his rookie season as being an NBA draft bust. In RJ's rookie season, he put up 14 points per game on 40% shooting, 5 rebounds per game, and also adding 2.6 assists to his game, which is certainly decent numbers for your rookie season. But the reason, in my opinion, why a lot of people saw him as being a draft bust is the two guys that went in front of him, in Zion and Ja, had fantastic rookie seasons. And when you look at those other two guys that just went right before him and you look at RJ, people saw RJ as a huge drop off from those other two guys. But the thing about RJ is he does a great job at not letting the noise get to him and never really losing confidence. After his up and down rookie season at best, I guess you can say, in his second season he really broke out, which was last year. He averaged 17 points per game on 44% shooting, 5.8 rebounds, and also adding 3 assists to his game. Now the biggest difference to RJ's game from year 1 to year 2, in my opinion, was the introduction of his 3-point shot, or at the very least shooting that 3-point shot at a high percentage. In his rookie season, his 3-point shooting ability specifically was a huge flaw, and his inability to shoot that really made him very one-dimensional. Everybody knew he wanted to drive all the way to the basket and he can fall off him a little bit. But in his second season, once he really worked on his 3-point shot and was actually shooting over 40% from 3, the defenders that were guarding RJ now needed to respect his 3-point shot and play a little bit closer to him. And once that happened, RJ could now get to his bread and butter and just drive all the way to the basket and finish around players with crafty layups or dunks. And that, in my opinion, was the biggest change from year 1 to year 2. But even besides that, he really improved in every way. He improved in his ability to drive and finish once getting all the way to the basket. Also in terms of his basketball IQ, in terms of his passing and playmaking ability, he certainly improved a tremendous amount. Now in his second season, he was doing a great job at actually finding his teammates in the corner for a wide open 3, cutting all the way to the basket, and overall just had a very good understanding of NBA defenses and how to actually break them down. But although RJ had a fantastic regular season, when it actually came down to the NBA playoffs in the Knicks matchup against the Atlanta Hawks, RJ certainly struggled in that playoff matchup. Now in my opinion, the reason why RJ struggled and the Knicks struggled as a whole was because Julius Randle struggles. And I believe that if your star player on your team, which Julius Randle was at the time and still is, struggles, especially when it comes down to the NBA playoffs, basically everybody else in your team is probably going to struggle as well. And your team is only going to go as far as the star player or the best player on your team takes them. Now of course, I'm not trying to give RJ an excuse because obviously he didn't play well and he could have played a lot better. No matter how well or not well Julius Randle played, of course it is on RJ, but I just wanted to mention that because I really do believe if your star player doesn't play well in the playoffs, everybody else is probably not going to play well as well. But going into RJ's third season, which is this season currently, he started off pretty slowly. Originally to start off the season, RJ was struggling to find out where he actually fit in this new Knicks offense. Of course, over the offseason, the Knicks brought in 2 key players in Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, and early on into the season, RJ didn't necessarily know where he actually fit in with those guys. And RJ was just kind of standing around there on the offensive side and not really asserting himself. And a lot of NBA fans, and especially Knicks fans, were starting to get a little concerned with RJ due to the fact that he just wasn't assertive whatsoever in this new Knicks offense. But as the season progressed, he had certain stretches where he played well and felt a lot more comfortable, but of course eventually he got hit with health and safety protocols, which basically everybody in the league has had to go through. But since coming back from health and safety protocols, for the most part, the first game or two he didn't play well, but for the most part, RJ Barrett has been absolutely balling. Just looking at some of the recent games that RJ has had, he's put up 26 points, 19, 32, 13, 19, 31, and 32. Just fantastic numbers as of late. And the thing about RJ is watching him out there in the court, not only is he putting up fantastic scoring numbers and just numbers in general, but he's playing fantastic basketball and he's playing winning basketball. ever since RJ Barrett has been playing as well as he has been on this recent stretch, the New York Knicks as a whole have been playing much better basketball as well, and in my opinion, I think RJ is the main reason why the Knicks are playing so well and actually finally starting to turn their season around and playing winning basketball. As I mentioned before in the video, the biggest change from RJ Barrett from season 1 to season 2 was the addition of his three-point shooting ability and shooting that three-point shot at a very high percentage. But from year 2 to year 3, the biggest improvement in my opinion from RJ is the addition of his mid-range shot. In his second season, the issue with RJ is he was pretty good shooting from that three-point range, or actually very good, not pretty good, but also pretty good once driving all the way to the basket. But the issue was he never really had that in-between range. He didn't have a pull-up mid-range jump shot, he didn't have a post turnaround fadeaway. There were just certain things within his game he didn't have. Of course, he didn't have a floater within his game either. But so far in his third season this year, RJ has certainly added that mid-range shot within his game, which makes him a true 3-level scorer and makes him so much more dynamic overall. This season, RJ Barrett is doing a fantastic job at playing at a slower pace and playing at his own pace and just finding whatever spot he wants to get to from that mid-range area and just shooting a pretty nice pull-up mid-range jump shot, maybe a post turnaround fadeaway within his game as well. He's certainly a lot better at shooting those floaters now than he was at in the past, and overall RJ is just playing at a much better pace out there in my opinion. He's also doing a fantastic job at finding his teammates, maybe cutting all the way to the basket, finding them for a wide open corner three-point shot. But overall, the main ability from RJ is certainly his scoring ability, and he was never known or seen to be a fantastic passer and playmaker, but of course that always helps secondarily. Another fantastic thing about RJ this season is he vastly improved his defense. Now basically each and every night we see RJ guarding the opposing team's best player, and he does a pretty good job on them as well. There's some stretches where RJ played fantastic defense early on, and sometimes he didn't play great defense, but so far on this stretch he's playing very good defense on whatever player he's guarding. And I really think that's a potential that a lot of people see with RJ, or at least I do personally, as a true two-way wing going forward. And when you look at the NBA's best players, they're all two-way wings. When you talk about Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, all these guys are fantastic offensive players as well as fantastic defensive players, and most of those guys that I mentioned are all wings. And I'm not saying RJ Barrett's going to be a top player in the NBA, but I think he certainly has the capability to at the very least be an all-star, but certainly a superstar going forward due to those reasons. But we'll see what happens going forward for both RJ Barrett and the New York Knicks, especially now that the Knicks just acquired Cam Reddish in a trade recently with the Hawks. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think RJ Barrett has a potential to become a superstar type player going forward, or an all-star type player, or do you not think so? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, please check out one of these other 2 videos popping up now, and until the next time, peace out guys.
Oh yeah, I work with the medics. I'm about to get you injected. I got a couple connections so I can get you prosthetics. Hope you can't go where I'm headed.